that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanity. The other days, sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Alright, that was pretty good. But you know what, guys, that Honda looks so good. I would actually argue that it looks better than CFMoto. But feelings-wise, CFMoto feels more refined somehow. Obviously, you would tell me that Honda is way more reliable, and I'm not going to argue with that. Honda is more reliable. But, dude, I'm not joking. CFMoto feels better for me in every single way. Alright, what do we have? 4.3 seconds. Brakes. Alright, 4.2 seconds. Again, we're down on torque and we're down on power. I don't know, I feel like we still can squeeze out something like 3.9 seconds out of this bike, but I have no idea how long is the first gear. The rear sprocket is much smaller than on CFMoto, so maybe we can get somewhere up to 95 kilometers per hour in the first gear. I don't know, I'm not sure. We're gonna try it out later. Ooh, okay, one more time. Shoot, are you ready? Ooh, what? Okay, 4.11 seconds. Okay, verified. Not bad. Alright, so CFMoto is faster. In China, CFMoto 675SR is faster than Honda. Like, much faster. But still, Honda feels pretty good. Honda doesn't feel like a schmuck. Oh, shit. Yeah, CFMoto is really flickable. It's not as flickable as Zonti 703, but after CBR, I would say it feels way more agile, flickable, just way more maneuverable, which I like a lot. And it does feel lighter, which is really good not only for the truck, but I would say that it's really good for a city. It's more confidence inspiring, especially in the traffic. Shoot. By the way, as you might see, there's 0 kilometers per hour constantly because I turned traction control and ABS off. I didn't want to turn speedometer off. I didn't want to turn traction control off. The only thing I wanted to turn off was rear ABS because I was trying to do some wheelies, but apparently everything's connected. Yeah, we need to be careful. But CFMoto is more playful. And honestly, I would argue that this bike is smoother. It feels more refined somehow, I don't know. And without ABS, brakes feel really good. Yeah, we can do stoppies now. Do you like it? It's fun, right? Yeah, but we're faster on CFMoto than Honda, that's for sure. Yeah, this Honda looks good, dude. This Honda looks dope. But this is faster. This is faster. And it's more maneuverable. It's more maneuverable. It's more agile and more flickable. This bike is restricted. It does have 94 and 95 horsepower. In China, we have only 76 horsepower, and to my knowledge, we have only 60 Nm of torque. With that being said, yesterday as I was measuring 0 to 100 acceleration, my result was pretty decent. According to Draghi, it was at about 4.1 seconds, and according to the speedometer, it was like 3.9 seconds pretty much every single time. So this bike is still pretty rapid. However, as you can see, guys, this is steel diamond frame, and this frame is pretty heavy. The curb weight of this machine is 208 kilograms. And comparing to CFMoto, this bike could be 8 kilograms heavier. On CFMoto, we have chrome molybdenum steel alloy, which is more sturdy, and it means that you can use less of this material, and this is how CFMoto saves the weight. And on CFMoto, we don't have a diamond frame, we have twin spar steel frame. Obviously, this is not a naked bike, but compared to CFMoto, it's super relaxed, it's very pleasant to ride. My wrists feel absolutely awesome. So this is a very beautiful bike, guys. I really like the design, I really like the color. And one more honorable mention, guys, is that we have inline 4 engine, obviously, and Honda is showing you the engine. So the plastic is not covering the engine at all, which I love a lot. I feel like the engine and the color of this bike, these two are the most beautiful parts of this design, and so far I like it a lot. We have 310mm dual disc up front and 260 or whatever millimeter single disc from behind, 4-piston caliper which comes from Nissan. Brakes are pretty good, ABS is not intrusive at all. So this bike is pretty cool. We have dual channel ABS, and to my knowledge we have traction control, but this is a pretty simple bike. Technology wise we have way less than CFMoto has. However, I do not complain. The only thing I want to complain about is the price of the bike. Here in China it'll be like $12,000+ for a new bike. It was my super short specifications overview. I'll hop on a bike and let's go. Yeah, power-wise, I would say that this bike is still very powerful. The power is very manageable. The gearbox works really well, but I told you yesterday, and I'll repeat myself, the gearbox is very different from CFMoto. If you keep the bike in the sweet spot, it feels very fast. I would argue that 0 to 100 km/h acceleration will be pretty much the same as with those 95 horsepower versions, but obviously it's still less powerful, so the top speed is gonna suffer a lot. But again, given that I ride this bike in a city, this power feels very pleasant. The only thing I don't like about this bike is bottom end torque. Let's say if you're not racing, if you're just casually riding in a city and you're riding at about 10 km/h and you're in traffic and then you open the throttle, you still need to wait for the power to kick in. Meanwhile, on CFMoto, power is accessible right away. It feels less flickable, it feels less maneuverable. The wheelbase on this bike is 1,450 millimeters compared to 1,400 millimeters on CFMoto. The rake angle is less steep. We have 25-degree angle on this bike, and on CFMoto it's 23.7 if I'm not mistaken. And if you would ride this bike after CFMoto, you would feel this lack of maneuverability right away. And as you try to split lines like I do right now, this bike would feel less maneuverable, that's for sure. At low speed, it feels heavy. You do feel this additional, 8 kilograms of weight. You just try to maneuver like this or flick the bike around, you feel like the bike is heavy and pretty long. So it takes more time, more space to turn. And I don't really like it. But on the other hand, when you go fast, this bike feels incredibly stable. Very stable. We don't have a steering damper, and this bike doesn't have to have one. And stability is something CFMoto lacks for sure. When you go fast, or if it's windy, those crosswinds might actually push you around on CFMoto a lot, which I don't like. So you don't feel very confident. And people, they were reporting that CFMoto always catches speed wobbles at higher speeds. This Honda feels super stable, and I'm sure that this Honda would never catch a speed wobble. Okay, I'm taking it back. Obviously, there were cases probably where a Honda was catching speed wobbles, but it's way more stable than CFMoto, and it feels right away. But again, guys, you might check another video of mine where I was riding Zontis, and Zontis feels way more maneuverable than CFMoto. And yet, it feels very stable. It feels almost as stable as Honda, more maneuverable than CFMoto, so Zontis captures the best of both worlds. Now, Honda obviously would be way more reliable than those two motorcycles. And people were reporting some problems with Zontis. People were showing some pictures of the frame. So the frame is super light and super agile, and I like it a lot on Zontis, but people were reporting that the frame is not too sturdy and it's easy to break, so it's not super durable. Throttle response is different as well. I would say that on Honda, throttle feels a little bit heavier, and it feels as if you have more control over the throttle, which is pretty cool. I would actually still say that this bike could be a nice motorcycle for a beginner. CFMoto could also be a bike for a beginner, actually. For an experienced rider, CFMoto would be more maneuverable and lighter. Oh. By the way, apparently we don't have traction control right now, because just now as I was opening the throttle, the rear wheel started spinning and we drifted a little. So this is something to keep in mind, and I'm not sure whether you can adjust traction control or not, but if we can, I did not find it. So the dash and the cockpit is less intuitive, which I don't like. CFMoto actually does a good job because CFMoto is a super simple bike. It's really easy to navigate around. It's very easy to understand what's going on. We have adjustable traction control, so technology-wise, CFMoto is better. But speaking about technology, I need to address ABS. I would argue that ABS on CFMoto is more intrusive, and this is probably the reason why I just decided to pull out the fuse. Honda has better ABS, which is less intrusive. I like it a lot. And brakes are pretty much similar. As you might know, CFMoto has full adjustable KYB suspension, so you can make it stiffer, you can make it softer, you can adjust it to your own weight, you can adjust rebound, whatever. We have non-adjustable show suspension on Honda, and I'm what, 85 kilograms heavy or 90 kilograms heavy, and for me the suspension feels very good. It's super resilient, given that we're not riding a super sporty bike right now. Every single time I'm running over the bump, I feel very confident. You don't feel like the bike is losing control or something. So I really like the suspension, and from behind we have this monoshock, which has rebound adjustability. We have 15.7 liter fuel tank. Fuel consumption is 5 liters, so it's way much better than on CFMoto. So if you want to save some money on fuel, this bike would be better. Again, guys, this is just an awesome motorcycle. I really like it. Super simple, very reliable, and it has beautiful inline 4 sound. So what else do you need? Maybe you need some additional speed and acceleration, so yeah. Yeah, we can still do some tiny stoppies with this ABS, which is pretty cool. And as you can see, I managed to find neutral right away. So the gearbox is very smooth. I like it a lot. Actually, when I ride this bike, I don't really want to compare it to CFMoto 675SR as much as I want to compare this bike to SRK 800 from QG Motor, because these two motorcycles, they have inline 4 engines and they have pretty similar weight, pretty similar maneuverability and stability. I would actually say that QG Motor sounds more ferocious, and QG Motor is definitely punchier and feels faster. But this bike is smoother, the gearbox is much better. In general, this bike feels way more refined. But QG Motor is more fun to ride because it has more torque and more power. So yeah, guys, this was my humble opinion on this beautiful CBR650R. Please let me know which bike would you choose. Honestly, I still feel like CFMoto 675SR is a better choice because it'll be way more maneuverable, it'll be way more flickable, it feels lighter, it's just more playful and more fun. It's faster. But if you're looking for something relaxed, with a great reliability and with a great design and color, this is your option. I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for watching the video. New videos are coming. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And as always, I want you to stay safe, and bye-bye, guys. Take care.